Hello and welcome to episode 47 of Your Ultimate Comeback. Today we're here joined with our guest, Sara Banta. We'll introduce her in a minute. But in honor of the NFL, we have to present number 47.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Josey Jewell.
Okay.
He was actually my favorite defensive player on the Broncos, but he's now with the Carolina Panthers, unfortunately. But 47,
Okay.
there you have it.
All right.
There you have it.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyways, let's introduce Sara. Super excited to have her on the show. She's a renowned certified dietary supplement professional and a member of the National Association of Nutrition Professionals. They're celebrated for her dedication to empowering individuals to achieve optimal health through the transformative power of cutting-edge natural supplements, DNA-based nutrition, and lifestyle changes. As the founder of the award-winning and cutting-edge brand Accelerated Health Products, named the most innovative supplement company 3 years in a row, Sara has established herself as a trailblazer in the health and wellness industry, pioneering innovative solutions to support holistic well-being. With a passion for educating and inspiring others, Sara hosts the top 10 health podcast, The Accelerated Health with Sara Banta, where she shares her wealth of knowledge and expertise with a global audience. Through her engaging and insightful discussions and expert guests, she offers invaluable insights into the latest trends, research, and breakthroughs in health and nutrition. Recognized for her expertise and commitment to excellence, Sara is a sought-after speaker at conferences, seminars, and events worldwide. Her dynamic presentations captivate audiences as she imparts practical strategies and actionable advice for achieving vibrant health and vitality. As an advocate for holistic health, Sara believes in the profound impact that carefully formulated supplements, nutrition, and lifestyle modifications can have an overall well-being. With a steadfast commitment to empowering individuals to take control of their health destinies, she continues to inspire positive change and transformation in countless lives. Through her visionary leadership, Sara Banta is shaping the future of wellness, driving a movement towards a healthier, happier, more vibrant world for all. Sara, super excited to have you.
I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, this is going to be a great podcast, right up our alley, the stuff we like to discuss and talk about.
And may I just interject that she wanted to be on?
I know, that was my favorite part.
We're going to switch and we're going to be on hers too.
Yes.
Love it.
That's
and
what's
I can't
exciting.
wait for that one.
That's going to be fun.
It's going to be super fun.
So I feel really important when people want to be on our show, Brad.
Yeah.
So thank you for
I
that.
love it, especially when the message
Is
aligns
parallel,
with the information we're trying to deliver to
Absolutely.
people. The stuff.
When I first started listening to you guys, I felt like I was part of the conversation.
Yes.
I
love that.
So that's why I'm like, it just seems like it makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. We got some fun stuff we're going to explore. But first off, I want to start, Sara, give us a little bit of your backstory, kind of how you've ended up in this position of being where you're at, knowing what you know.
Yeah.
We all kind of have a journey that gets us
I'm trying
this
to think,
far.
how long have we known each other?
A long time.
I know, but I'm trying to...
Swim lessons.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
For our boys?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
So that was like for that, they're now 22. So
Mine's 21. Yeah. Okay.
18 years.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Way back.
And
Yes.
I would look at Raquel going, how does she have those muscles?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Oh
So
my God,
anyway.
look at this kid.
Look at this kid.
And I said kid because both of you are kids, by the way.
And her yoga class.
Yeah.
You are my favorite instructor.
Well, come back, man.
Well,
I know her time, the
okay.
timing. She's too busy. That's a whole nother podcast
yeah,
episode.
that's another podcast.
Yeah.
Busy's not a good word.
No, I know.
Okay, so yeah, where does it start? I mean, I could start in elementary school when food just didn't sit well in my gut like it did with everyone else in my family. And my family could eat anything, no weight problems, no nothing. I was the weird one. So fast forward to college, things kind of got worse, got married, started having kids. And you know that when you are pregnant, that body is going to give everything to that child.
Mm-hmm.
And you just get depleted and depleted and depleted. I was having internal spasms, thought I was going into labor and delivery early, all these things. Go to the GI doctors, tubes up me, down me, around me. And the doctor's like, you have IBS. Just go take some Metamucil. And I'm like,
Oh, God.
do you
Love
think
it.
I haven't tried that yet?
Yeah, right.
So, and I feel like
Is this with Jackson, by the way?
No, that was actually with Michaela.
Okay.
Pregnant with
Okay.
Michaela.
Okay.
With that one. And she came out literally, I thought I was having a baby at 23 weeks. And I go into the hospital and they're like, no, you're just having intestinal spasms. Here's
man.
here's some Percocet.
What?
Have a narcotic while you're pregnant.
Oh, shit.
Don't tell Michaela.
Oh, might be too late. She may tune in.
So then fast forward to then that's when I realized that, okay, Western medicine's not giving me answers. Finally found a practitioner who's now not only a mentor, but also a formulator of most of my supplements. And we used a machine called the Skio machine. It's a Scalar technology, scans your body for over 10,000 items. And he sat there and he goes, how did you get yourself into this office? How did you peel yourself off the floor?
Wow.
You have nothing in you, Sara. He goes, you're not digesting food. It's rotting in your stomach. You're bloated. You got heavy metals through the roof. I had acne, hair falling out, bloated all the time, couldn't eat anything without major pain. Come to find out, I was on the verge of Crohn's disease, PCOS, heavy metal toxicity, literally off the charts in aluminum, mercury, and lead.
Wow.
Jeez.
I had been living under the airplane path
yeah.
all of my life.
Right.
I grew up here. I was
Right.
John Wayne. I loved going there, but those planes that was part of it. But that's not the only thing. We've got so many toxins, and we can talk all about that.
Yeah.
But I started crying. I'm like, finally, someone understands me. So as we started peeling me like an onion and taking care of everything, my kid's getting older, Jackson. He's a typical boy, 9 years old, doesn't want to go to a 20-minute swim lesson. His grades go from A's to ugh. And his teacher's like, Sara, is he okay? So we go and we get a scan by the Skio. And my practitioner didn't really tell me what he saw in the scan. He goes, he just needs to go get a live blood cell test, which is where you put the blood underneath a microscope, not a typical blood test, and you see the cells. And we go, and the practitioner there is blunt. She does not sugarcoat anything, and she looks at me, and mind you, little Jackson's right here. And she goes, he's got leukemia.
Oh.
And if you don't do something about this right now, we're going to have a serious issue. And I just, as you can imagine, I have the chills again. I just start crying. And he looks at me and he goes, Mom, why are you crying? You're going to fix me. And I said, you're right. Everything about me took the back burner. And it was all about Jackson. And we had my flagship product, the Accelerated Silver.
Which I took. Still do.
And everything else, I didn't really know much. I knew that maybe the microwavable corn dogs I was feeding him probably weren't good. So I then moved to Whole Foods. I start talking to him. Okay, if we want to get you healthy, we need to eat protein, healthy protein, and this. And I had him start making his lunches with me, started teaching him. He really got involved, and he was motivated at 9 years old.
Wow.
Within 3 months, the teacher's like, I don't know what you did to your son, but he's back. Okay. So we started on that process, and I'm like holding my breath as I'm seeing him get better, seeing his energy better, but I don't know yet. I don't know what's going on inside. 1 year later, we go back, and that same blunt lady, she goes, I've never seen such beautiful blood in my life.
Wow.
She goes, the cells are nice and dark and plump and separated. And mind you, when there were cancer cells in there, they're all clumped together. So if you can imagine trying to get nutrients into cells when they're all clumped together, you can't. They also had donut holes in them showing nutritional deficiencies. And then the cancer cells had little stars on it. They look like stars. You don't have to be in biology to know that doesn't look right. And so when we saw the nice big plump ones, I literally started crying again. And Jackson's like,
Mom, why are you crying again?
yes, I knew you would fix me.
Yeah, wow.
So that was the beginning of the journey. Like, okay, I've got something here. Mind you, as that silver did that for my son, my best friend's daughter at 2 years old was put on steroids and antibiotic for a cough. And I'm like, okay, we've got to do something. Everyone laughed at me. Everyone thought, Sara, you're crazy to start selling a supplement. You're the crazy one. because I was always the weird one with food and everything. And I just put my blinders on like a horse. I'm like, one foot in front of the other. Just do your passion, Sarah. Do your passion.
Yeah.
And I would have these people come out of the woodworks and say, I've heard about your silver. I need it. And then they give me testimonials. And I'm like, those testimonials are little God winks to keep me going forward. I would listen to podcasts, read books as much as I could. There was nothing that was going to stop me. I was going to learn. And the more I learned, the more I realized I didn't know and the more I wanted to learn. And I would start adding in supplements to my line. We had the Accelerated Gold, which is great for anxiety, depression, IQ, and then a collagen supplement, and then this and that. And then we started going, okay, we've got something here. Let's really dig deep. I started learning about Ayurvedic herbals, Chinese medicine, started carrying some supplements from companies that I really trusted and how they work together, whether you are sick, whether you have kidney issues, what have you, constipation, all of that. And I really learned that the body is a miracle. And you have to remove the things that don't serve you and fuel it with the good things. You can't just throw at it supplements. You can't just throw at it healthy food. You've got to remove the toxins and remove.
Yeah.
And today, post-pandemic, we are in a state where we can't even eat some of the healthy foods that we could eat 5 years ago because they trip up our detox pathways. So you might be listening going, I eat all the right things.
Exactly.
I haven't changed anything, and I've put on 20 pounds, and I'm going to Raquel's class, burning thousands of calories according to my Oura ring,
Right.
and I'm gaining weight.
Yeah.
It's not working. What's going on? And so fast forward, that was Jackson's story. I mean, God gave me 3 kids with 3 very different profiles. Michaela,
Who played volleyball with Quinn?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so
Super fun.
Michaela, who played volleyball and then now Rose, was the girl that could not get off the couch, would not go on a bike ride around the block because she had no energy. Anemic, asthmatic, allergies. You get her sick, she's sick for a month. The other kids are sick for 3 days.
Yeah.
Literally, I did not like my child. I loved her, but she would not get dressed for me because she was a noodle and she had no. She was.
She went boneless. I always say they go boneless.
But that girl is rowing crew at the
SC.
at the college
Really?
level.
Yes.
And the athletic director is like, do you guys know that girls rowing works out harder than the basketball and baseball and football teams
it.
and
I
any
love
other
it.
team? And she's like, Mom, why did you make me get out of volleyball? I'm like, I didn't. You did it. But anyway.
Does she really think that?
The point is she's doing great. Now,
Awesome.
there's always issues, right? And then my youngest, she's the healthiest. She's the spirit of the family. But first grade started reading her words, vocabulary, spelling, awesome. Math, awesome. Start getting into having to comprehend and take tests. First grade, second grade, third grade, she was going downhill. Teachers are like, she doesn't have ADHD. There was no diagnosis. We don't know what to do with her. And I'm like, wait, all of my kids can read. I went to Stanford. This shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
You study, you learn, you do well in school. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Well, not with her. And so I was having anxiety. She was having anxiety. I'd pull the older 2 kids in to help her read. I'd have my husband help. I'd try to okay, God, what are you doing here? And that girl, through diet, supplements, mindfulness, lowering anxiety, is in all AP classes.
That's amazing.
And committed to Boston University.
That's rad. Love it.
For rowing. And it's so funny because I think her experience actually taught her how to learn, where the other kids, it was easier. So anyways, there's always a benefit. There's always a silver lining. There's always a miracle. And especially with Jackson's story, it taught me without him, I would not have my business.
Yeah.
the amount of people I'm helping because of what I was put through.
Amazing.
So every time my kids or I go through something, it's like, okay, what muscles are you strengthening in me
I love that.
to
I love that.
help me deal with something bigger later in life?
Yeah.
And fast forward Jackson to when he was 15. So now he's healthy, never sick. My kids did not get
And blood
sick.
profile now is great.
This summer, all 5 of us got our blood done. The doctor goes, Jackson, you're the healthiest out of everyone. So, yeah.
Incredible.
And no COVID. So, no, tested positive, everybody, no symptoms, I should say.
Yeah.
So, but when he was 15, he was rowing. He was on the team that was going to break a record at nationals. And he was working out very hard, and his heart was having issues. And then there was one night where 2 in the morning, I heard this pounding on the bathroom wall.
Oh, no.
And I walk in, and he's pounding on his chest.
Oh, my
his
gosh.
heart had stopped.
Oh, my God.
So we get it going, because I'm standing there. I'm like, I don't know what to do here.
Wow.
It was for about 30 seconds, which felt like years.
I'm sure.
And we get it going. And we then sit down on his bed. And I said, are you okay? He goes, yep. I said, Jackson, I don't know what God's doing here.
Yeah.
But we're going to figure this out. And he goes, Mom, we've done it before. We're going to do it again.
Wow.
And we did. And the reality is, for all of you athletes out there, if you're training like an athlete, you better be supplementing like an athlete. It's not just supplementing like your dad, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's great.
And now he's 22 years old. He would much rather go for a mountain bike ride and a hike versus going out to the bars. He'll hang out with his friends at the bars, whatever, if that's the only option. But he's in Utah. He is going to have a tough reality when he has to come back and do some work. But the biggest thing that I have come away from all of it is that life is only going to get tougher with these external factors that are taking down our health.
Yep.
Because the design is to help us be sick enough but not die. And the good news is that there will always be answers. And that's what I've found. It's like when something new comes, like, okay, I can't wait to figure out the answer. But we are truly in a new world now where we've got microplastics, we've got the fluoride in the water, which even the government just came out with a report showing that it lowers IQ in children and us. We've got the xenoestrogens, the plastics, all these things that are causing estrogen dominance, low progesterone in women your age, my age, and my 17-year-olds.
Crazy.
So PMS is worse, menopausal symptoms are worse, weight gain, brain fog, all of it.
You name it.
Right?
You know, as long as I have known you, and I feel like I really, really got to know you when your Scalar Silver came out. And I remember you saying to me, you need to try this. This girl is not subtle when she wants you to try something. I will tell you. How many years ago was that when that started?
Oh, I don't even know. So
has it been 10? Well, the point I'm making is you have always been kind of a dog on a bone when it comes to something that is more. Well, she knew she had a very willing audience in me listening to why these things are good. You start to tell me a story about this is going to help you in all these ways. I'm all ears. And especially when it's not something that's a script, a prescription.
Yeah.
So I was definitely very interested in that. I began with that product with you.
Now, what exactly is that product?
Scalar Silver.
Yeah.
So colloidal silver, Google it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is different.
I thought it was something different. Okay.
So colloidal silver has been known for thousands of years. You got to go look it up because I have to be very careful with what I say because it is a trigger word. But what we do with our silver, gold, and copper, it's a liquid form. The absorption is much higher. It's nanoparticle, and then we enhance it with scalar frequencies. Those scalar frequencies, the same frequencies that diagnosed me off of the skio machine, you can actually embed into liquid. Water memorizes things. You can have dead water and living water, but we also then put it through a water implosion technology. And have you ever heard the term your life force or your chi?
Of course.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so this increases the life force of the supplement by thousands. So
wow.
it blows away anything else on the market. And the beauty is for people with children, your kids want to take care of their health. Give them their own bottle.
Yeah.
And say, take this 3 times a day. They will say, okay, Mom, I'm super excited, because also it tastes like water. So
It doesn't taste like anything.
it's super easy, and it's like the best thing you can do, especially as we're going into fall and you've got elementary school snot everywhere, right? Jackson, take his compromised immune system, was in water polo coming home at 9:30 at night with 3 other boys in the back of a car, and they would be like throwing up from the flu, and he would not get sick.
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that is like a no-brainer. And we have just created supplements that work synergistically together to make you feel good day one, so that you are encouraged and motivated to keep going.
Yeah.
Detox flu symptoms. People start a detox January 1, and they get
We talked about that last week.
and then they get off of
Yeah.
it day 2 because
Of
they
course.
feel awful.
Of course.
They feel nauseous. They
They
have
don't want to
headache.
go through that.
No.
No.
So I know, like, you have to have a good foundation to have the good mental health. You also have to have the motivation up here to do all the right things for your physique. It's together.
Yeah.
And so my goal was to create supplements that work together synergistically, so you feel good as your body is doing miracles and you don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
So
I also want to say another one of your products, a newer one, the Cogniblast.
Yes.
How new is that? A few years, 5 years? I can't keep track of
3
time.
years,
3
yeah.
years. So she told me, because she's, like I said, she's really very persuasive. Hey, you should try this. And not in a bad way, very persuasive. And I had been on Prozac for 15 years, and I knew this was not something I wanted to be on for a lifetime. And I thought, okay, we got to start weaning down off of this. And I did that myself, which probably shouldn't say that, but I did. And then I thought, you know what? I just want to cut ties completely. How can I do this? And I remember mentioning that to you. And she said, you need to try this. And this was, and you know what? I'm the person, I don't even care if something is a total placebo. I'm in it. It's okay. It's making me feel better. Great.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So this is a supplement that
It's got magnesium in it, right?
it's magnesium BHB.
Okay.
Different.
Okay.
So BHBs are ketones. So for all those keto people out there, I'm not a keto person.
You used to be.
I used to be.
Ah.
I am not.
Okay.
I am now DNA based. You need to eat whole foods and the right whole foods.
Okay, I love it.
I'm a fan of carbs. I'm a fan.
Awesome.
You try to eat 3 potatoes, go after it. eat a bag of potato chips full of 3 potatoes.
Course.
That's a different story.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So the brain, right? When I would take the Cogniblast before it was actually a product, I'd take it 30 minutes before my podcast. And if I would be fumbling over my words or whatever, it was like, and the other thing that is factual is I would type my articles so much faster. I'm like, I should go back to typing class in high school. But your story was not the only one.
You sent me a
video.
clip,
Yes.
a video to watch. That's right.
So this lady, I've known her for years, had no idea she was on antidepressants.
Are you talking about me?
No.
Oh, it's someone else.
I didn't know you were before you started.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
But she goes, Sarah, we've got to share this with the world. This is something because I'm on the strongest antidepressant that they offer in Australia, and there's no way I would get off of it. This has gotten me off of it. The
Crazy.
side effects from the withdrawal symptoms from her drug were so bad that she would never try to do it before. And with the Cogniblast, she did. And then you have a young kid who's been on Adderall and Ritalin, tries it and goes, I love the feeling, and it doesn't have the the adverse side effects of the Ritalin that he would feel. Now, this is a kid that didn't care really about his health.
Right.
He's just telling me he's feeling
Yeah.
good. For people with Alzheimer's and dementia, I have both genes. You better believe I'm taking that because not only is it great for short-term memory, focus, all of that, and mood. And I even have people telling me that they won't make stupid food choices or give into their cravings because they're at a higher level.
Yeah.
But it's preventing the cognitive decline. And today, with everything that's going on, our brains are under attack, our livers are under attack, our whole body. And so that is a supplement that is one of our best sellers.
Yeah.
I like that. I want to, the whole liver thing.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to get your attention.
This is my topic.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because
Yeah.
I'm a believer now that we all have congested livers. We're all
Yes.
overloaded with toxins. And none of us really have a good idea how to take care of it.
Yes.
It's either something super extreme or nothing at all.
Yep.
Or I hear all the time like, well, my liver enzymes are fine.
Because I don't drink that much.
But so I want to, can you share with our listeners, what are some signs of a congested liver?
Yeah.
And then what can they do to help start improving that process of detoxification in a more healthy, supportive way versus just going on a water fast?
Yeah.
These crazy ideas.
I'm not a fan of water fasts, right? Okay, so, and I have family members who've done it.
He did it.
I tried it.
Yeah, it's not bad
Yeah.
if you're in the right mindset, if you don't have excess stress in your life, whatever, but that's not going to...
When does that happen?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I tried it because so many people were asking about it. Is this good for me? I'm like, I'm going to go try one. And I'm going to find someone who does it and see what I thought.
Right.
So the liver is your master organ. You gotta love your liver. I just did a podcast on it. We just came out with the world's best liver supplement, and I'll describe it in a minute. But your liver's everything. And guess what the spike protein targets? It's the ACE2 enzyme receptor in the liver. This is causing insulin dysregulation. What does that mean? That means that if you ate an apple 5 years ago and you ate an apple today...
Oh, okay.
I
was like worried. Oh no. What happened from my apple 5 years ago?
Same person, you will have an exaggerated insulin response today versus then, which will drop your blood sugar. But what does that mean? You think, oh, well, low blood sugar, that's good. I'll burn fat. No, insulin is the fat storing hormone. So you're going to have fat storing and low blood sugar, which makes you feel awful, right? You've got water retention, oxidative stress, inflammation. All of this is happening in your liver. And the spike protein is hitting you and you and you, me, and my daughter, who's gone through horrific menstrual issues. Because, yeah, and it's spike protein. So her pain level PMS was a 5 before, 4 years ago. It was a 12. It was, Mom hit me so I pass out. I can't live like this. No, I'm not joking. Throwing up, and it was horrific.
Poor thing.
So, and we linked it back to the spike protein. So this is a new reality. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's in all of us. I have a protocol to help minimize the effects. The Cellular iodine is the key, is number one, but we can get into that later. So the liver doesn't just have the spike protein. It's got the xenoestrogens, the microplastics, the
dealing
GMOs,
with everything.
the glyphosate.
Dealing with everything, right?
Right? So signs, you're nauseous when you eat, especially fat. Because if you can't break down the fat, then it's gonna feel like it's coming back up. Okay? You're not processing hormones, your hormonal imbalances increase. You might have right shoulder pain. That's a referred pain from your gallbladder. You're not breaking down your proteins. So when I got hit with the spike protein, I take essential amino acids. I eat a ton of protein. I eat the right kind, the wild animal protein. And it wasn't working. It was literally like my body was eating away at itself. I wasn't building muscle. I was losing muscle, and it was freaking me out. So what I found out was my liver was not able to process the amino acids. So your liver is a huge part of your digestion. It's connected to your spleen. Your spleen is the battery pack to your digestion. How many people are bloated now? I was this lone soldier when I was 20 and having my gut issues and felt like I was the weird one. Everyone has these issues now.
Yeah,
I talked to someone today and I'm like, well, are you bloated when you eat? And she goes, all the time. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's what people deal with. So when you do a liver cleanse, and I take people through it, I'm ready to ramp up a group to take through the liver cleanse. You will feel a drop in water weight and inflammation. You'll see a clearing of the skin. Your skin is your largest detox organ. So if your liver is not doing its job, guess where everything's going to come out? That's where you got the teenage acne, even at 48.
Yeah.
You're not able to assimilate your nutrients. So your hair might fall out. Your skin might be dry and yucky. It just doesn't, you're fatigued, brain fog. Your liver's everything. So we have come out with accelerated liver care. And I am passionate about these things, as you're saying, that I don't hold back.
Yeah.
It is the best liver supplement out there. So what we've done is we've taken all of the best herbs from Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, rainforest medicine, added in the modern nutraceuticals, and then enhanced with scalar frequencies. It's got tudka and milk thistle. Most people have heard of those. No one's heard of pau pereira, which has hundreds of studies on liver cancer and hepatitis and other things, and a whole bunch skull cap and bupleurum and andrographis, a whole bunch of other herbs. But the difference is our concentrations are 10-1. Most concentrations, when you go to Whole Foods and you get a liver supplement, it's like 2-1, 3-1, and they're sprinkling in an ingredient so they can put it on the label.
Yeah.
Ours are packed in there. But then what we do with our Scalar machines is test the life force of the supplement with different combinations and ratios. Because just because you have certain ingredients in there doesn't mean it's going to work right. You've got to have the right ratio of each herb and the layering of it. Then the other thing about it is it's got herbs in there that open up the gallbladder and liver meridian. So when you take it, it literally says, I know exactly where I'm going. It's not going everywhere. It's going targeted to that liver and the gallbladder. And when you add in the other supplements in the liver cleanse, after 2 weeks, you do the flush, you see thousands of gallstones in the toilet. And it's awesome.
I've never done this, but I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Well,
It sounds like little BBs hitting the bottom of the toilet.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like little green peas.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that big? The size of a pea?
Yes.
Wow.
So if you think your liver can function with thousands of peas just being in there, right?
Yeah.
So we are in a crisis with our health as far as the toxins and what's going on. We're going to be salmon swimming upstream. I remember, 10 years ago, January 1, some of my friends did the pressed juicery cleanse and they're drinking their green drinks for the first 3 days.
Sure.
And it was like a fad. It was a trend. It is essential now to be detoxing. And you can detox while you rebuild. And that's my goal is so you're detoxing daily, but then you're rebuilding at the same time. You need the right nutrients to come in. Now, you don't take your detox herbs at the same time you're taking your rebuilding herbs or supplements, right?
Right.
Because you want to tell your body it's doing a certain job at a certain time. So there's a method. And that's where my coaching comes in. It's free. People can ask their questions. I post so to keep you moving forward and motivated, but to teach you how your body works so you're in control. So you're not depending on calling the practitioner or the doctor.
Yeah. I want to super support what you just said because it's not well known. When you take certain supplements is vitally important.
Yes.
It's not just what you're taking, but so often it's when you take them that makes them really valid or pointless.
Right.
So like what you just said, I just want to validate your listeners.
Yeah.
Like I strongly agree with that idea because I've seen the power of that as I've learned from people much more educated than me as they started teaching me how important that was. It's a game changer.
Timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, timing is incredibly important.
Well, talk to any guy that works out. When's he taking his pre-workout? It's
Right.
not at night. Right?
Hopefully not.
So there's a reason he's taking it before
Yeah.
he works out.
I want to share one other thing I think is really interesting, kind of goes along with your talk to support this. Recently got a new client that came and joined the weight room. And going through evaluation, we start talking about things. She had just moved here from somewhere in England. I think London. No, sorry. Somewhere over in that area.
Overseas.
Overseas. It was either somewhere out of England
Across the
or
pond.
London. Yeah, across the pond. She's like, you got to help me. I don't know what's going on, but ever since I moved to America, I eat the same that I used to eat back home. I'm putting body fat on. I feel horrible. She goes, what the hell is wrong with your food over here?
Yeah.
Like, it validates what you're
Yes.
saying, that our food quality
We
is
have 20 ingredients and
horrific.
theirs is 3 for
Yeah.
the same item.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
they don't allow bromide over there.
Yeah.
I don't know what bromide is. What is that?
Bromide is a halogen. So this is really important and kind of goes into iodine, but bromide is one of the 12 deadliest toxins. It's in the fire retardant when we have our California fires that they're dumping on us. So you better be taking your iodine when they're dumping that on. But it's also in our bread. It's in Mountain Dew. It's in a lot of the
Darn,
products.
I love my Mountain Dew.
It is illegal in Europe. Okay.
Hey, why would it be in Mountain Dew?
I don't know.
Who knows, right?
I don't know what they're doing there. So
Do the do.
Yeah.
and fluoride is in our waters, and it's not in most countries in Europe, right? And fluoride, whether they're using it or not, is not showing that it's helping teeth. Actually, it turns your teeth to fine dust. So that's a whole nother topic. But if you look at the halogen column on your periodic table, go back to chemistry class.
Do I have to?
I'll give you just a cheat sheet.
Okay, please.
So iodine, fluoride, chlorine, and bromide are all in the same column. We are in an iodine crisis. We are deficient. 96% of the United States was deficient in iodine 20 years ago. Iodine, like every other mineral, and I've heard you talk about this, is depleted out of our soils. We are not getting our magnesium or our selenium or our iodine in our food anymore. So we have no iodine coming in, and then we have these toxins that look exactly like iodine and fill those receptor sites. Every single cell in your body, not just your thyroid, has an iodine receptor site or a thyroid hormone receptor site. If you think you're gaining weight out of nowhere, your thyroid is sluggish. Most people have that issue.
Yeah.
You need iodine to make that T4, T3, and T2, which is 4, 3, and 2 molecules of iodine. So without that iodine, that little fluoride or bromide molecule is going right into the cell's receptor site. Okay? If you're taking high doses of iodine, guess what happens? It bounces off and it goes out and your body detoxes these toxins. So it's preventative. It also kicks out the toxins out of the body. This is the other thing. Iodine is needed for the cell membrane. The cell membrane is the brain of the cell, and it has an iodolipid value, iodine fat value, made of saturated fat and unsaturated fat. And we can get into seed oils if you want, but so you need iodine to let the nutrients get in and the toxins get out. Why are we getting fat? It's not the calories. Our bodies are trying to survive. We have all of these non-calorie threats, the radiation, the microplastics. Those don't have chocolate in them. And our body needs to get rid of them, get them out of the bloodstream.
Stressors.
And stressors, yes.
But those are stressors
Yes.
too, right?
Yes.
And we've talked so many times
Yeah.
about stress and how it negatively affects us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming
Yeah.
the body.
Yep.
This is so fat. I just want to say one thing. I love that you're talking about this because I just recently read a book, and I can't remember who wrote it, a doctor talking about iodine deficiency is like one of the leading causes of our health crisis
Yes.
in our world.
Dr. Brownstein.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. He's been on my show twice.
Yeah.
So, and we go through it because he's the one that people quote saying, I should be careful with iodine. He goes, Sarah, I said that in the first 5 years of my practice before I knew anything.
Yeah.
And they're misquoting me.
Yeah.
So what you need it for to get those toxins that are stored in your fat cells. So the more toxins coming in, the body's like, I got to stuff these fat cells with toxins to get them out of my bloodstream. And by the way, I'm going to make more fat cells and more. And so when you're trying to lose weight and you're down to 1,000 calories a day, what is that doing? That's stressing your body, saying, I'm starving.
Right.
I need to lower my metabolic rate even more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the iodine's important to get the toxins out of the cells. The iodine's important inside the cells for the mitochondrial health. It increases ATP production. That is your cellular energy. That's not the caffeine from the Monster drink that you were just talking about your guy in your class about. It is your true cellular energy. Iodine can increase it to the maximum amount of 36 to 38 ATP per mitochondria. Most of the mitochondria are running around at 2. 2 versus 36.
Wow.
Okay, so that's per cell in all trillions of cells in your body. You also need iodine outside the cell to cleanse the blood so the liver can do its job. It is antiviral, it's anti-parasitic, it's anti-bacterial, anti-pathogenic. So it has so many jobs. It's known as the #1 spiritual mineral. It opens up the pineal gland, decalcifies it, gets the fluoride out of the brain fog lifts. I have people coming to me saying, why am I so happy? Like, what
changed?
I was taking this for my thyroid, which also is a point that most people on antidepressants actually have hypothyroidism. And the doctors are testing T4 and TSH, which does not tell you anything. And they're saying your thyroid's fine and you need to be on an antidepressant. Most people who add in the acceleradine iodine and the accelerated thyroid get off their antidepressants because they don't need it. Mm-hmm. And they also are able, with the guidance of their doctors, of course, to get off their thyroid medications, which typically are T4-based medications that don't do any good, which can actually make things worse. Because if you're stressed out, guess what happens? That T4 turns into reverse T3. That reverse T3 says, I don't know if you're stressed because you're being chased by a tiger, you're facing a famine, or you got in a fight with your husband. I don't know, but I'm going to shut everything down. And I'm going to shut that metabolism down. I'm going to store body fat around my expensive organs to make sure that tiger can't get to them. And I'm going to get this fat on my back. I don't care about my hair because I don't care what I look like. I'm going to sacrifice just so that I can keep my organs healthy and happy. And that's what your body does for survival. Your body is smart. I just actually talked to someone who's seen an improvement in his body fat loss, and he's been trying so hard and lowering his caloric intake, cutting this out, cutting that out, and he's actually finally seen the needle move. And I said, what do you think it is? And he goes, I'm actually eating more. Why? Imagine that. Your body's like, oh, I've got more money in the bank. I can spend.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all of these things. You got to get rid of the bad stuff, but supplement with the good stuff. Feed your body good, wholesome foods, and that gets a little more specific. But you said something about the seed oils.
Yeah, because maybe we'll come on your show and you can talk about that.
Okay,
I would love that. That way it'll be her show, Brad.
I'm good at talking about it. Jeez.
He's a little nervous to talk about seed oils because there's not as much, what did you say, specific?
It's hard to find, okay, I believe seed oils are bad with all my heart.
Yeah.
Like, I avoid them. I tell people to avoid them. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to find research that validates all the claims around how bad it is for you.
Yes.
And so often when you start piping off about something like that, you have all the scientific mongers. Well, that science doesn't support you. That's wrong. Science says this. And I don't get tired of dealing with those people.
Right.
I think you'll like my answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my answer. Is that before 1970, 1980, processed foods really weren't an issue. Seed oils weren't an issue.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We also didn't have all of these other toxins
Yeah.
that are backing everything
Yeah.
up. And the system's like, I can't deal.
Sure.
So seed oils typically come with packaged in processed foods with artificial sweeteners, artificial ingredients, neurotoxins, GMOs, glyphosate, bam, bam,
Right,
bam,
right,
bam,
right.
bam. And yeah, they're an issue. They inflame the body. They stay in the body for over 7 years. Now, if you have the right iodine and something called phosphatidylcholine, which is one of my favorite things to take, which supports that healthy cell membrane, you're able to get the seed oils out of the body.
Yeah.
But when you are eating a healthy diet and you have a little seed oil, not a big deal. Not a big deal 30 years ago. So it's just one
A lot
more
wasn't a
factor.
big deal 30
Right.
years ago.
Because your body could deal with
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
So
Mhm, for
We're
sure.
so overloaded this day and age.
Yeah.
Like everything is against us.
Yeah, I agree.
But the strategies are still the same as they were 30 years ago. Go exercise more and eat less.
Yeah.
Right.
And unfortunately, they were probably a little more effective back then than they are now.
Oh, for sure.
Because we didn't have all the metabolic
Yeah.
dysfunction that we have
Right.
going on
Yeah.
now from all these chemicals and stressors and
Yeah.
toxic overload, and it's crazy.
But
Yeah.
I think so much though is what you're saying. I mean, boy, it resonates for sure.
100%.
But I think to myself, holy cow, people that are listening or watching, whichever they're doing, they might be going, oh my God, this is the hugest uphill battle. Like you
Right.
said, salmon swimming
Yeah.
upstream.
Right.
It's kind of scary.
So that's
Where do you start, Sarah?
Yes, you start with iodine. You start with iodine, and I would say accelerated thyroid, iodine, and accelerated fast are the 3 supplements that get the metabolism going. So you feel, okay, I can
Yeah,
do this.
yeah.
And then you focus on eating wild animal protein that it doesn't have the linoleic acid or also amyloid proteins. So this is something that I talk a lot about. Even the skinny chicken meat is full of amyloid proteins. You eat chicken to feed your muscles after your workout, right? You're a bodybuilder or you're Brad. And
Far from a bodybuilder.
that liver can't break down, even if your liver's healthy. Say you went through my liver cleanse. That liver cannot break down that chicken into amino acids to feed your muscles and your brain. Those amyloid proteins get deposited in your brain, cause these Alzheimer's and dementia, cause a uplift of the gut pathogens to take over the good guys, does a lot. When you focus on bison, venison, elk, wild fish, those are not only going to assimilate in the body and get broken down and feed your muscles, they're also the most nutrient-dense food on the planet. There's more nutrients in those than the kale salad and the veggies you're eating. And for you women out there, do not be afraid of protein. It will satisfy you. You cannot overeat it, and you cannot get fat on protein.
Right.
So and it increases your metabolism. Why? Because it says, oh, I'm getting enough food. I'm not in survival mode.
Right.
I'm going to relax. Right?
So true.
And that is a huge part of that weight loss, weight gain thing. But the 3 supplements I mentioned are literally my alternative to Ozempic. But then the liver care, the accelerated liver care, to just daily do your liver a favor. And then you can do the liver flush a couple times a year. But that is something that I'm saying you have to be taking care of your liver, because that is the basis for everything. Not going to Orange Theory, not running 8 miles, because, and I know you have talked about this, you're just going to beat down your adrenals.
Even more.
And your adrenals are then going to shut down your thyroid.
Yeah.
There's that HPA axis, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, that is connected to the HPT axis, hypothalamus pituitary thyroid axis, which is connected to your HPG axis, your gonads. So you want a low libido, go burn your adrenals and lower your thyroid.
Yeah. Right.
Love that.
Yeah.
That is the absolute truth.
Yeah.
learned that at 33 years old. Took me 6 years to get back to normal.
Yeah.
Man, that has gone so fast.
I know.
We're already out of time. I could have sat
We just
here for hours.
scratched the
I know. I think we
surface,
just
too.
started.
So thank goodness we're going to go on her show at some point.
Yeah, because I want to continue this talk. This is great. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for supporting and sharing with all of our listeners your messaging. And I mean, it is so tuned in with how we share and the people we like to bring on the podcast.
Yeah.
Information is phenomenal. So thank you. Can you share with our listeners how they can find you, how they can find your supplements?
Yes. Search SaraBantaHealth.com. Everything's there. My free group coaching's on Telegram. It's not censored. So I'm able to give answers that I really want to give. And that's not a joke because I've been taken down off of YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn recently. So, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
So, and it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
So that group coaching, it's free. And you can just sit back and listen. You can pop in and ask.
Read the comments you made. Yeah, okay, cool.
I post daily. I post things to keep you learning because the idea is for you to take the power back over your body and for your children too. I mean, my passion obviously is this younger generation that is suffering so much and to give them the power. Right?
Yeah.
What a gift to give your child the power of like, I can do this.
Yeah.
So everything's at SaraBantaHealth.com. My podcast is Accelerated Health with Sara Banta on over 100 different platforms, including Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. So yeah, I'm pretty easy to find.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
One last thing I want to share about our younger generation. I recently got in an argument with our pediatrician because he wanted me to give another vaccine to my son. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And he's like, you need to do it for your son. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
He's like, look, it's my job to protect your son. I was like, no.
No, it's yours.
It is my job to protect my son.
Yeah.
And you know what's sad is I got to protect him from you.
Yeah.
And it's the reality. It's as we have to take our own ownership back and our power back for ourselves, for our kids.
Yeah.
I recently got to speak to my daughter's club volleyball team on nutrition, health, and all this stuff.
I love it.
And it was awesome because my daughter, for the first time ever, heard me speak, heard what I had to say.
Nice.
And we're driving home. I'm like, was that weird for you? She goes, no, actually, it was really interesting, Dad.
Oh, I love it.
And she started pinpointing the things that she was noticing, and she's totally changed. Like she's now starting her day off with real meat for breakfast.
I love it.
And I was like, oh, they want to learn. They just don't
they
know.
do.
Yes,
They
that's
do.
great.
I mean,
That's
I
great.
would love to do a podcast on kids.
Yeah.
And because
we'll definitely have to have you back on to do that.
Yeah.
'cause
absolutely.
I love how intrigued my own children are with this topic. Because my son comes home with these questionnaires about nutrition and they're learning garbage.
Yeah.
And he's like, Dad, why do they say everything different than you say?
No, I will top that. I walk into the USC athletic cafeteria or whatever, right? We're talking pro football caliber.
right.
It is USC football, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about the right, but you've got the food. Gatorade,
Yeah.
peanut butter and crackers for the snacks,
Yeah.
Cheez-Its.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, you have all the money in the world.
but we're working out so hard we can eat whatever we want.
Right.
I remember when I was on the U.S. bobsled team at the Olympic Training Centers, the only protein I could find was chicken.
That was it.
That was it. It was
Which
all
was probably
carbs.
fine back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. It was 2008, 2009. It's probably better than now than then, but that was it.
Yeah.
It was all carb-based foods.
Oh, yeah.
Breakfast was yogurt and cereal and
Oatmeal.
juices and oatmeal. Couldn't even get eggs.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think we're very uneducated, and our kids are clueless.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because no one's teaching them.
Right.
No. And the one last thing I would tell you, 2 tips. If you've got a child you're struggling with. All 3 of my kids had different issues, different goals. If you talk to them about nutrition for their specific goal, whether it's overcoming cancer, whether it's becoming an amazing rower and getting into college, or let's get rid of this PMS pain, they will listen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you have them prepare their own food, even in kindergarten. Stand over them so that they can learn how to use the stove It's going to take a lot of time in those early years. But do you know how much I had to do during the pandemic when all 3 kids were home?
Yeah.
I did not cook one meal for them during the day, breakfast and lunch.
Wow.
They were in the kitchen doing their own thing.
That's great.
And they would be making things on the stove because they had already learned how to do it. And my job was easy as a parent. The more work you put in early on, the less you have to do later on.
That's smart.
Fantastic.
I should probably learn how to cook then.
Yeah.
Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. That was awesome.
Yes.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate you.
Love being with you guys.
All right. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Yeah.
And to our listeners, it's a Tuesday when you're hearing this, but we got the weekend before
All
that.
right. Thank you.